Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Sweet and Sour Thoughts, the podcast that explores the full range of life flavors. I'm NB, your guide throughout the ups and downs, joys and challenges, love and indifference, and everything in between. Whether you're seeking insights into relationships, personal growth, or simply looking to savor life's complexities, you've come to the right place. So sit back and relax, and let's get ready to embark on this journey. Today we're tackling an important topic: overcoming fears around setting goals. Last week I had a goal in mind. So I sat down, I kind of thought about some steps in order to achieve my goal. By the end of my imagination, my scenario that I imagined, I felt so anxious. I felt so scared. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like a failure. I was so scared. So I was not the only one. When I googled it, actually the fear of setting goals is like a real thing. Many people experience anxiety when setting goals. It is often due to fear of failure. From previous setbacks. Maybe you already tried to achieve a goal and you couldn't do it in the past. Or maybe you did achieve it, but then you lost all of your progress. So you kind of having that running in your subconscious mind. Maybe you are afraid that you will lack motivation during the goal process, the goal achieving, and some people even experience depression. They're like, I have this goal, and then they have an all anxiety and fear episode, and then they are depressed because they feel that they cannot do it. So here's how to approach goal setting to overcome these fears. The first one, it's kind of tricky, is to make your goal realistic. Begin with attainable goals, with smaller goals and achievable milestones that can help you gain confidence and avoid feeling overwhelmed. This advice is at the same time simple yet annoying. Personally, I found it annoying because when you have a goal in mind, it's usually something big, and the human nature is impatient. So you are imagining this big goal and you want to get the result fast. So the steps you are telling yourselves are huge. It's this huge step. It's almost impossible to do it. Even if you did it, with time it will get so tiring, or you will not even start because it's too difficult. So making realistic goals and breaking down large goals into smaller manageable steps will help make this journey, or at least the beginning, less daunting, and to have that momentum going for you. The second step is to define your goals clearly. This one is also tricky because you said, my goal is pretty clear for me. I want to be more confident. No. But then if you do not define well your goals and provide clarity and the roadmap to follow, you will not know how to start. So make sure you know exactly what you want to achieve and why. For example, from being more confident, you want to be able to talk to new people with more ease. You want to maybe have this, be more charismatic and have this aura around you. But in order to attain that, you have to start small. You have to make, maybe for you, being confident is moving your body in a confident way, or talking in a different tone, or looking different. So you need to define your goals clearly. The second part of achieving or conquering this fear of setting goals is to reframe your goals for success. The way we formulate our goals for our mind is very important, because usually we tend to formulate negative goals. For example, I want to eat less junk food. I want to be less anxious around people. Usually these negatives, our mind have difficulties processing these negatives. Just like a baby or a child, when you are with your cousin or with your child, for example, and you tell him, oh, but don't kick the door. It's obviously, for almost all of the children, they will kick the door harder. Or if a child is crying and you told him, but don't cry, he will not just stop magically crying, he will cry even louder. So our brain did not change that much. So when you tell him, eat less junk food, he's focusing on junk food. Or be less anxious, the negative is so difficult to process that what the mind retains is anxious. So you need to shift your mindset into positive goals. Instead of I want to eat less junk food, maybe you'd like to say I want to include more whole foods, and that by elimination you will eat less junk food. I want to be less anxious around people. Maybe you can try to say I want to introduce myself to 2 new people at this event, or at this bar, or at this, I don't know, at the gym. So this step is very important of achieving or like setting positive goals. The next step is setting SMART goals. SMART is an acronym. So SMART, we already talked about the first one. Small, like small attainable goals. Specific attainable goals. The M stands for measurable. You need to establish metrics in order to track your progress and know when you've achieved your goal. For example, your metric can be physical, maybe set weight, maybe how your pants fit you, maybe the number of people you talk to, or for how long you talk to them. Your goal needs to be measurable. And then your goal needs to be achievable. We already talked about this also. Make sure your goal is realistic, given the current circumstances, the current resources, your current energy levels, because that fluctuates, especially for women. Your goal also needs to be relevant. It should align with your values. This one is a big one. It should align with your values and your long-term objective. For example, maybe your boss have this new goal for the new year, and okay, you want to do the same because maybe you are, I don't know, a fan of your boss, amazed, you want to be closer to him. You will be like, oh, but I want to pick skateboarding too as a new goal. But then it is not part of the things you like. It's not enjoyable for you. It's not even on your mind 12 months of the year. Maybe you want to be more sexy, but in your values, sexiness is kind of related with another negative value. So when you are trying to move toward that goal, your subconscious is already like sabotaging because it's not part of your value system. Your goal also needs to be time limited. You need to have a deadline to maintain focus and urgency. Because if you want to achieve a goal, but then you don't define a deadline, your goal is just like flowing on time. You are not making actionable steps and doing things in order to achieve by a certain time. Also, if your goal is not time limited, it cannot be measurable. So having a set time limit is really important. This time limit is not constant. It can change. It needs to change because when going throughout, when achieving a goal, a lot of things come up. and so you maybe take longer, you will take shorter, it depends. And then you need to have a reward system. You need to celebrate your milestones. It's huge for keeping motivation very high. It can be as small as sleeping more on a Sunday or during the week, or as big as getting a new purse, getting a new ring, a new car, maybe, if you can. So this fear is really, setting goals is really existent. It does not have to be a daunting experience. So by reframing your approach, using a positive goal setting advice and technique, and using small steps, manageable, achievable, measurable, you can set yourself up for success. And you also need to focus on what you want to achieve rather than what you are taking out from your life in order to achieve this certain goal. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Sweet and Sour Thoughts. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes on how to live a better, more fulfilling life. Until next time, take care.